To many people I know, this may come as a shock. I stopped playing Destiny 2. For about a month in November, but I stopped playing. And it was refreshing. This game was a huge time sink, and it was kind of ruining my life. That being said, I still like the game, and since that month ended, I've gone back with the game and played it a little bit, but I'm not as obsessive. I'm in a much healthier state with the game, and it's allowed me to work on life stuff, while also working towards upgrading and tinkering my Guardian. But in this time of absence from the game, I've also taken the time to reflect about the game. I've looked at the culture and the news surrounding Destiny. For a game I love, I'm quite troubled by it. I'm worried about how this game will become going forward and if Bungie will fix the issues surrounding it. When Bungie broke up with Activision in 2019, the fanbase was relieved that the toxic and manipulative behavior of the publisher would cease. But as we see now, that isn't the case. For many players, Destiny 2 is in a great state, while for others, it's in a state of peril. In this video, I want to look at the misdoings of the game and how it's affecting the community at large. Will the game continue down the path Activision set for it years ago, or will Bungie push past the toxic roots and move for a better future of the game? While I'll be using these questions as a guideline for myself, I want to emphasize, I don't have the answers. I'm a longtime player of the game ever since D1 launched. I've seen its highs and I've seen its lows. But I'm not a game developer, just a concerned consumer of a franchise he loves. So let's take a step back from Destiny 2 and see where it's gone wrong. Destiny 2 went free-to-play in 2019. Afterwards, Bungie released 2 new expansions to the game, Shadowkeep and Beyond Light. And with those 2 expansions came 8 new seasons of content. The business model seemed fairly simple, but costly. You can either buy the $40 expansion, pay separately $10 more for each season, or you could buy the digital deluxe edition for $60, comes with the seasons and the expansion. This was bumped up during Beyond Light's expansion from $60 to $70. Still nothing crazy. Remember, this game is free to play. Some games ask for similar amounts. Let's look at Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, for example, where editions can range from $3.99 to $199.99. But let's look at the monetization of Witch Queen and how it's a little different. $40 for the expansion, $80 for the deluxe edition, $100 for the 30th anniversary edition, and the collector's edition is up there for $250. It's another markup in the price. And if we look at each edition between the expansions, they are essentially the same. So why are they marking up the price? Well, in October of 2021, Bungie ran into some issues with this. Players were notified that the Deluxe is only way to access the new dungeons coming out in Year 5 and in Witch Queen. The Standard Edition will only have the expansion, so you'll need to fork up another $40 just for the seasons and the dungeons. Bungie clarified further and said that the seasons do not guarantee the dungeons, so you could still be spending the $10 per season, but you won't get those dungeons if they come out during one of those seasons. We know nothing of these seasons, and if they'll be worth our time and our money. These last 4 seasons have been good, but can we say the same for the next 4? On top of that, we don't know the monetization of the dungeons. How are they going to cost if they're not included with the season? Bungie is paywalling Witch Queen's content further than any other expansion. If you want guaranteed content, you have to buy the $80 version, which will lose its value over 5 years. This business model is a huge clusterfuck. It's creating this huge divide between the studio and the players. Players don't know what to purchase due to the fear of the unknown. Like I said, this past year has been great with content, but can we say the same for the future? A confusing business model alienates your customers and makes you want to avoid you like the plague. A free-to-play Guardian can't tell what to buy and when to buy it. What Bungie is doing now, it's a tough sell. Even for someone like me, someone who sunk thousands of dollars in this game since day one, I can't recommend my friends to play. I'll have to tell them to shell out $100 just to play with me, and I can't do that in good conscience. No way. It doesn't help. The content in Destiny is also disappearing. With the release of Beyond Light, Bungie announced that all the content from years 1 and 2 will be removed from the game and placed inside the Destiny content vault. At first, it was okay. It was fine, but you gotta remember, most of that content was used for the free-to-play players. Now they just lost all of that. What does that mean? What did we lose exactly? Well, we lost 5 maps with all their associated content. The only thing staying in the game outside of Beyond Light was the Forsaken content. Bungie is taking out content, putting it in the DCV, and then re-releasing it on a whim. And they claimed it was for the longevity of the game. Now, 2 kind of faults here. First off, 5 planets are taken with all of their associated content gone. What were they replaced with? 1 planet and a single raid. Weapons were taken away and sunsetted, and only a handful were put in to fill their shoes. Bungie essentially took out all of the free-to-play content in favor of a revitalized 3-mission expansion for free-to-play players that may or may not have experienced the Day 1 Destiny 1 experience. Bungie would also roll back on the idea of sunsetting. They allow us to reissue the weapons now with new roles and kind of make the ones we already had obsolete, but at least we're getting a bunch of content back. It all falls back to this idea of trusting Bungie. Do you trust them to make a good game? Well, I do. I also understand that this isn't the way the game should work. The Destiny content vault is a double-edged sword. While this gives Destiny the breathing room to grow mechanically and technically wise, the world itself, and as a player, you can feel it's small. It doesn't feel like a massive multiplayer online game. It just feels like a whatever Bungie wants it to be game. What hurts more is that this is purchased content. Like, I bought this. I told you before. I spent thousands of dollars on this game, and now I can't play it. I can't play that content. Even so, I stood atop my hill and claimed that this was necessary for the game, until we all read the update for Witch Queen. Around the same time as the monetization fiasco present in the first part, Bungie announced that Forsaken will be vaulted come Witch Queen. Alongside the old expansion, all Year 4 content will also be removed. This one hurts. Forsaken is a lot more to players than just an expansion. It's what they were hoping Destiny 2 was going to be. It revamped old mechanics with new light-based abilities, new gear that looked and felt amazing. It was a new art style for the game. And on top of that, one of the most grand raids we had since the Taken King and Kingsfall. Forsaken, just like the Taken King before it, saved Destiny 2 from collapse. It's the whole reason Destiny and Bungie are still on the map, because of how good Forsaken was. It did everything right, and then some, for its players. Even when Activision said that this expansion was a failure, Bungie pushed back and said, no, we can't be more proud of our DLC, more proud of the players involved, more proud of the work that we put in to make Destiny 2 what it should have been since day one. And now, Bungie's just going to remove it. And we know Witch Queen won't be adding anything back in full. Bungie has stated numerous times that we will never see an expansion at the same level of the Taken King or Forsaken. They're just going to take it away and replace it with something with little value? And we don't know how much this content will improve the game or how good this content will be. Compared to the Beyond vaulting Forsaken is like burning sacred ground. On top of the monetization confusion and paywalling, vaulting is a kick to the gut for players. If players want to enjoy these old sections of Destiny, they have a timeline in the menu they can experience, rather than, actually playing it. Didn't mind this at first, but I can't help but get frustrated. Vaulting is not the future for this game. A while back when I purchased Beyond Light, I watched a review of it from a YouTuber called SkillUp. In the end of his review, SkillUp posed the idea that if you trust Bungie, even a little bit, you should purchase Beyond Light. I felt inclined to do so, because I trust Bungie. I trust that they will make this game great, even with the crappy monetization, even with the content vaulting. I consider myself a true believer of Destiny's future, but it's not about the money, it's not about the content, and it's not about the true believers anymore. It's about the fundamental trust between consumer and the company. What Bungie's doing right now, it's not working. They're throwing away that trust in service of making more money from the fan base they've already established. The fan base, new players, and the company are divided between these issues. You can mistake that for the way content creators talk about this game, especially with the 30th anniversary out right now. The game is in a high. When you look beyond that surface of the community, when you look beyond the YouTubers and Twitch streamers, you can see the frustration from players. You can see that this game needs a wake-up call from the high it's in.
Hi everybody, thank you all for watching this month's video. I'll have a next one coming out in February. It should be a little different than what I made here, but I hope you all will subscribe and possibly watch that and give me another chance in case you didn't like this video exactly. But I appreciate the support if you subscribed. I appreciate the support if you continue watching, and thank you all very much. This took a while to make and I'm proud of it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.